Hello and welcome to Biz Buzz with Bruno. I'm Michael Bruno, your host, always brought to you by madstheater.com. And today we are talking with guests from Capital City Theater and their upcoming world premiere of the new musical, It's a Wonderful Life, with two of the talented actors. I'm going to say actor because we're doing non-sexual. No, not non-sexual. What's non-gender?
Thank you very much.
We're doing the NC-17 version of It's a Wonderful Life.
And cut.
Mary Does Bedford Falls.
I think I saw that one.
We're here with the lovely, lovely Jen Farley and my new friend, Sarah Ellis. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having us.
So, the world knows Jen Farley from
The world. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
my
I
mean,
celebrity.
seriously?
So since we're just getting to know you, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you came to be in this production.
Well, I grew up in Platteville, Wisconsin, and I was doing theater there, grew up doing theater. I was a kid from Wisconsin for 3 years, so it's very cool to have Michael Stanek in this production.
Right.
We never got to work together in kids, but it's just cool to be part of that legacy, you know. And then I went to school at Penn State University. I got my BFA in musical theater there. And as soon as I graduated, I spent the summer at a really prestigious summer stock. I got my equity card, I got an agent, and I moved straight to New York. And I have been working in and out of the city ever since.
That's excellent.
But this is my first time ever being this close to home, working on a new musical. And I am so excited. The fact that I can, like, if I want to, after rehearsal, drive home to Platteville and, like, stay with my mom is weird, but awesome. I'm like sleeping in my childhood bedroom and then going to work every day. I'm like, this is so odd, but I love it. It's
Do you
great.
have a lot of family that are still in Platteville?
My mom is still there. My brother is actually down in South Carolina, so it's just my mom. But I will say my father was the director of bands at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville for years. I actually went to band camp with Ben Barlow
I was
over
going to say,
here.
it's old home week for you now, too.
Yes. So
Ben
he
here.
ran the band camp at Platteville, and my mother was the director of bands at Dodgeville for years, so was very involved in the music community always in Platteville and in the tri-state area. And so, you know, that community, like, I say that I don't have family, they're my family. Like, I go home and I get to see all my parents' old buddies and all they gig, and it's really special to come home to my music community in Platteville. So,
And is your main focus on musical theater?
musical theater, yeah. I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm an actor. I also produce musical short films. I actually had a short film. We finished our festival run 2 years ago for our most recent one at the Julian Dubuque International Film Festival. So I've been able to come back to the Midwest every once in a while and get involved in all the cool stuff that you guys do
Back
here.
to your roots.
It's awesome. I love it.
It's so cool to have that. I love that when people they grow up here and they go out and they become their adult selves and they're leading their best lives, and then to come back and they look back and think, okay, this is kind of where I came from. These are the people that I kind of came up with.
Yeah.
And to revisit that again, it's got to be an incredible
Oh
gift.
my gosh, it makes me so grateful for the education I got and the opportunities that were available to me. And my music teachers were we didn't have a theater program at Platteville. Like, I had a choir teacher who directed musicals. So I was the community aspect of it, the community theater, like being able to do band, choir, and orchestra and run track and field. I feel like I was a very well-rounded child while still getting those summers to perform with kids to like get my chops. And I would study ballet at in Dubuque, Iowa. So my parents like multiple times a week would drive me to do like a half hour back and forth to Dubuque. And so I'm grateful for my parents and for this community that like let me do what I wanted and then supported me when I went to New York, and now I get to come home and be a part of it again. So it's very cool.
Love it. So Jen Farley, nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice to meet you. You look very familiar.
So give us the Reader's Digest condensed version of who Jen Farley is.
Wow. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and did theater all through my childhood. And then in college, ended up starting to sing with bands. I sang the 10 to 2 circuit on the weekends with my college band, and moved to Nashville after I got married, and then ended up moving to Madison and found my way into the Madison music community, as you know. And then for the last 10 years, have been singing with Gin, Chocolate, and Bottle Rockets with Beth Killey and Shondell Marks. And then just a few years ago, I think when we started talking about doing cabaret shows, I knew that I needed to do some work on my voice and making sure that I was taking care of my voice. And being from a musical theater background, I knew that I wanted to work with a musical theater vocal coach, which is where I found through you, Capital City Theater. So, this is exciting for me because I am doing vocal work, but this is out of my comfort zone, even though it's my roots, to be able to be part of the community, the theater community here in Madison.
Very cool. So now, is this your first actual onstage full production with Capital City? Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Loving that.
Yes.
So now we know how you came to be involved with Andy Abrams. How did you first meet and become involved with Andy Abrams?
How did we meet? Oh, goodness, cut. Well, I've had a couple of friends from New York work at Capital City. And whenever I say I'm from Wisconsin, they're like, "Oh, have you worked at Capital City?" And I was like, "I have not." And then I think we connected over maybe because you write new musicals. So I think we talked about MT Shorts, like my production company, about potentially collaborating on making an MT short or something. And then I think we just stayed in touch. And then Andy reached out and was like, "Hey, I'm writing this new musical and I think there might be something there for you." And I was like, "Please. I mean, absolutely. Any chance I get to come home is wonderful." So yeah, it worked out and I'm really, really glad I'm here.
So did you see Misery when it was in New York, when it came to New York?
Shining in Misery.
Shining in Misery?
I think I was out of town.
Oh.
Yeah. I work in and out of New York so much. So I'm like rarely there. My husband's like, come back to New York now.
So is your husband coming in to see the show? Is he coming?
He is. He'll be here. He's from Michigan originally. So his family's going to drive over from Michigan and we're going to do Thanksgiving here. So they're going to see the show. And then I have a dear friend who's coming into town with the Anne Juliet tour at the Overture Center. So his wife is flying in and we're all going to do Thanksgiving at my house. Which I haven't done Thanksgiving at my house. I know. I'm like, this is, I'm a happy clam. It's great.
Yay. So now I'm going to segue into this particular piece. It's a Wonderful Life, which I'm sure everyone has at least seen the movie at least one time in their life if they're...
It's interesting. I did not see the movie until the full movie until last year.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I knew clips. I knew, certain scenes, but I didn't know the full movie. And I think that it's so great that I feel like we're reintroducing this classic movie and this classic story to a whole new generation of people. And people that love this story so dearly are also resonating with it. So.
So what did you think then? Did you see it after you got cast in the show or did you see it before you auditioned for the show?
I saw it after.
Afterwards.
All right. The script's apparently very good. You don't need to know the source
And
material.
in following the theme of non-genderizing things,
Yes.
you also play a character in the movie, which is normally played by the male persuasion. Is that
Yes,
right?
that is true. My character is Bert the cop. And my counterpart is Ernie, the taxi driver. And what is so exciting, too, about this production is the reimagining and a little bit of the modernization of the characters. That these core characters can be women, that Mary is someone with emotion and someone that is a full human. And not that Donna Reed didn't play that in the movie, but she was very submissive, and this Mary is not. If I could share that.
Yes.
So
Thank you, Rex Reed, for that stunning evaluation. So let's continue with that. So what's it like? Obviously, Mary is an iconic, classical film character. What's it like reimagining her and bringing her into this production?
Well, I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. I've never seen it. I said it. You heard it right here, folks. Blasphemy. I know. I had every intention of watching it, but then as we got closer to the process, I was like, you know what? I don't even want to reimagine it. I want to imagine it. I want to create, I want to see what's on the page and make it make sense to me in my body, because I am a very good mimic. I have a good Celine, if you will. But like, I grew up like mimicking sounds and styles, and I know the genre of the piece. I've seen a couple clips from the movie just to understand, the time period and how, and I've done musicals in this time period before. So how a woman holds herself, how people interact, how they think about the world, what's going on at the time, like those all inform my character. But who she is a little bit of me, I think, and whatever Andy and John have written. So
Now, have you had a chance? Was there ever a video made of the stage reading that you did? Did you make a video?
We did. I don't think we shared it with you.
And did you get?
No.
You hadn't seen that little
no,
clip
no,
of it?
I'm just here for the ride and exploring it.
I love that. Because Jen, you actually did the stage reading.
I was in the
right?
stage reading, yes. And it's so exciting to see your portrayal and how the whole show has evolved and become a whole different thing. So it's really exciting.
I think Andy and John had done a really good job of writing a woman of that time with agency.
Yes.
Because, I mean, what is it? Is it true that women didn't even have credit cards until the 70s?
Isn't that crazy?
Like, it's nuts.
Yeah.
And so
and they still can't be president. Go figure. Not that I'm going to get political, but I just get so there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's very cool to, and because so much of who George is, I think, is influenced by Mary pushing him along. She kind of she's the kind of the all-seer, and she kind of sees things before he sees it, and she helps him on his journey. I think that's like, what is it? Behind every man there's a really strong woman.
Right.
And so
right.
I feel like that is where I'm coming from, because it's George's story, and so to be able to create this woman who can see kind of everything and be like, you'll get there. You'll get there, Let's go like, yes, no, you'll get there. It's kind of cool to explore that,
Very cool. So now I know several other castmates, and they're from the local, glitterati of Madison. So, Jen, what's it like for you working with some of the big guns in Madison?
Okay, so it's a little intimidating I will be honest. It is. I'm like jaw drop, like, oh my God. But I love it. And I love being able to be in a creative atmosphere with so many different types of people, and the different types of music that they love. And I don't know, it feels like a brand new extension of my own creative process and the things that I enjoy doing. So, but yeah, this cast is unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like,
very talented group of people.
yeah, yeah.
And how much has it differed from when you did the stage
There's
reading?
a big difference. I mean, the stage reading was so much fun, and that cast was also very talented. But we're dancing, we're moving sets, we got costume changes. I'm like, there's a lot to remember. And then we started talking about Tech Week this week, and my fellow castmates were like, oh, so we'll start doing this and da-da-da. I'm like, wait, what? I feel like a baby. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh,
I didn't even think about that. If you have any questions ever about anything, because I mean, I've done I don't even know what number musical this is for me, but there's just a protocol that I forget, that people who don't get their reps in doing shows over and over again, that like I had to learn at one point how to learn do my pin curls for my wig. You know what I mean? There's all these new things that I just
wait. What are pin?
You know what those are? Pin curls are.
No, but I did theater as a child, and it's, so long ago to be able to now do it as an adult, and then also to share it with my family and my friends. I'm so excited for my bandmates to see this show, because it's also they are always talking about how theatrical that I am, and I'm like, well, finally I get to do something with it. So it's it's exciting. So.
And her and Tess, her other counterpart, have a very, very fun number in it's a short, and you play
play the ukulele,
I
which
love that.
I
I'm
learned.
so mad that I didn't remind you to bring the ukulele.
I learned how to play the ukulele for this production.
I love that.
Special skills, new skills.
Which Beth Kelly is already trying to get in on. She's like, "Oh, you can play the ukulele now. We're gonna add that into a GCBR show."
There's going to be a ukulele segment now.
There will be. I play the
love
kazoo in a GCBR show, so now I got to play the uke. I'm gonna be like the master of like ridiculous instruments.
I love it. I love it.
So we all know that that Andy is a genius when it comes to like creating music and doing shows. You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Cowering in the corner.
Give us a little hint of like what's the style? Is the music all from that era, or is it all kind of a mixture of different kind of musical theater?
I think.
How would
You know
you?
the answer to this one.
I think you'll hear. I know, right? Like, how do we interpret your yes? I think you're going to hear motifs from a variety of genres. I hear a little Sondheim. Yes, I hear obviously some Kander and Ebb in there. I hear Rodgers and Hammerstein. I hear Harold Arlen a little bit. Like I feel like I hear so much.
Your song's Cole Porter.
Exactly. My song is very Cole Porter. So I feel like if you love musical theater, you're going to love this show because you're getting a little bit of taste of everything.
Not that I like anything about musical theater.
We also have like an Andrew Sisters-esque number as
love it.
well, and the Imanja number is very like this Italian operatic.
Yeah, like kind of like the She Loves Me, like Butterfingers do that again. That's kind of like the romantic atmosphere kind of vibe feels, at least. That's what I'm getting. Is this a test? Don't cry.
And just taking notes, copious notes.
It's just so fun though, and it's the show does have an important message, especially now, but it's a holiday show too, and I think it's such a beautiful way to kick off the holidays, because this message of the show that we all have a reason for being here. We're all influencing each other's lives, and that ripple effect. I think it's really interesting to hear the exciting music and beautiful music with this beautiful message.
And how many people are in the cast? How big of a cast is it?
21. 21.
Yeah.
21. Thank you.
It feels like there's more though, because everyone takes up so much space. It's really nice. And I say that like with all the admiration, because everyone's bringing stuff to their characters and making cool choices and bringing their whole selves to the work. So even though it's only 21 people on stage, I think you're going to feel like it feels like more.
Yeah.
Plus, they all get to play like dual roles because it's like in the plot, which I'm not going to be giving it away. They are contemporary, and then what would the world be like if George wasn't here? So they get the actors get to get that deliciousness of saying, "Okay, I play it this way, but then I could play it that way." So you will have 42 people.
Absolutely.
So, what would you say to people that have seen the movie and are so attached to the movie and think the movie is like it's something that they have to see every year to entice them to come and see this reimagining or a new musical for this production? What's your hook for this?
Like the angle? I mean, the reason musical theater exists, so like the reason musicals exist are when words aren't enough, we sing. And I think all of what you see on screen is just like the tip of the iceberg of what can be discovered about the human psyche and who we are as people, and that is how we feel music and experience music. And so if you see something that is so iconic, like It's a Wonderful Life, musicalized, it's such an opportunity to explore with these characters who they are, and then let that be a reflection on yourself, because that's how you feel. You feel through the notes and through the rhythms and through the journeys that these characters are going on. So I think it causes you to be even more invested in the story and to feel closer to the characters, because you're getting like a cracked open of what their brain and their hearts are doing. So
you came up with that on the spot, didn't you? That's amazing.
Beautiful.
That was lovely.
that good?
Beautiful.
I was like, okay, good.
Roll that.
Keep it.
I need a drink.
We should want our martinis, darling.
And you should buy a ticket just to see Jem Farley play the ukulele. For God's sake.
In a hula skirt.
In a hula skirt. I am so there.
Worth the price of the ticket alone.
So there.
Also, all of the memorable, legendary things about the movie will be in this production. And, someone's grandma or someone's parents, this might be their favorite movie. And to be able to share that in a shared experience with other humans, to laugh and to cry with other people that we miss so often now because we're all so isolated at times. It's one thing to watch the movie every holiday, but to be able to share it with others is a really special experience.
I also want to speak to the importance of live theater and how every time you see a show, it is lightning in a bottle, because that group of humans will never be in the same room ever again. So the way that you experience the show and then the actors respond to how you are experiencing the show as an audience member, you can't recreate that. Whereas a movie, you can watch the same thing over and over again. You're never, and we as actors are different people every single day. We're breathing, moving, breathing beings. And so what we bring to the show every single day is going to be a little different every time. And that is the joy of seeing something live. So, yes. See live theater, always.
It's a musical.
A musical.
Got to do that show someday. I love that show. Well, we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to bring in the lovely and talented Andy Abrams. And thank you so much for coming today. We'll be back in just a few short minutes, so stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Get some photos and videos.
Yes.
Some BTS.
Welcome back to Act 2 of Biz Buzz with Bruno. And we are very excited to have my wonderful friend and the awfully talented, not awfully talented, but amazingly talented, the awfully and talented Andy Abrams.
Awful and talented.
What's going on?
Live. It's live, baby. We're live.
It's
We're live.
thrill to me.
Really. So thank you so much. I'm so excited for the show because I've heard nothing but amazing things. And you have a stellar cast.
We do.
You have an amazing piece of art to put in front of people. So tell me a little bit how this came to be. What was your spark of
creation?
Creation, yes.
To quote a musical.
Yes.
Spark of creation. Actually, a funny story. This show has been kicking around for a long time because John Atkins, who wrote the lyrics and the book for this show, and I met in the BMI Musical Theater Writing Workshop in New York City, which has been around for years and is a place for young, I wasn't even that young when I did it, but for writers who are trying to figure out how to be musical theater writers go to. And it's actually where Ed Kleban, who wrote Chorus Line, they did some of Chorus Line in there, and Ahrens and Flaherty met there, and so it's really neat.
Nice.
And they would pair you up and they would make you do assignments. And of course, one of the most famous assignments was A Streetcar Named Desire. You have to write a song for Blanche. And I think they gave you 2 or 3 options, and we did this. The person I was paired with, and I did a weird one which I won't even go into. But it actually made it into an episode of The Simpsons. There's an episode of The Simpsons where they do the Streetcar Named Desire musical, and with Flanders playing what's his name and Stanley or whatever, Stanley, and Marge playing Stella. And the people that wrote this music were in the BMI workshop, and that's where they got the idea to do it.
How fun
Isn't that crazy?
That's
I digress.
A great story.
But one of the assignments was to write a charm song. We were learning how to write a charm song, because a charm song in a musical is a song that does not forward the plot, but is there to charm the audience and give especially a character something sweet to do. And so we chose to write a song for Uncle Billy, who forgets things all the time. And we wrote a song called I Forget. And we wrote that song 20 years ago. And that song is still in the show. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite songs.
Really?
I love it.
That little thing.
It is charming. That's exactly
well, then it's perfect. Well, thank you.
Has it changed since then?
Not much. It's changed a little. We took the chorus out, and we just made it about him. But like the lyrics, a lot of the lyrics stayed, and the music certainly pretty much stayed the same. And then about 10 years later, John and I decided, we thought, well, why don't we write a full version of Wonderful Life, and started down that road. And we got about 4 or 5 songs done and some script stuff done. And then we both just got busy on other projects and weren't able to complete it. And then last year at CCT, after Shining and Misery, we were like, well, wouldn't it be great if we had a holiday show that was our holiday show that we do every year? And I said to Gail, I got one that's about 35% done. What if we finish it? And she's like, great. And so then I realized what the task was that I'd set upon us. And we frantically finished writing it in probably about 4 months. Wow. And then because we knew we had the reading, so it gave us something to go for. And then last December we sold some tickets, and we had everybody to music stands, including Jen, and did it as a reading. And after every performance, we did a talk back with the audience, and we said, what did you enjoy? What did you feel you didn't need? What was missing from the movie that you would like? What didn't you feel like you needed from the movie? And where those comments crossed over, where we would start to see it. One of the big comments was Mary's song, which even the version that you did for the callback, that's the old lyric, where it's the old song was, that she had to decide, and all the people about George, and all the people in the audience said, she already knows. And we were like, she does already know. So now it's George, open your eyes and see that we are great for each other, rather than I have to make up my mind.
Oh, choosing between Sam and George.
Yes.
Right.
As opposed to I have to make up my mind, right? She's like, George, you're it. Right. That was a lengthy, but that's the kind of stuff that we really listened to the audience and said, okay, how are we going to fix this? How do we want to adapt this so that it's better? And so it changed a lot. And then after the reading, it went into rewrites, and John wrote all these transitions so that when they're changing the set, we aren't just watching people change a set. There's like little bits of dialogue that you're not feeling like you're like listening to the same chorus go by in the orchestra as you're watching people moving the set. We've all been there, right? And I think that's really helped. Now we're Evan Lang, our amazing orchestrator and music director, is orchestrating it for a 17-piece orchestra, which of course, is my favorite part, because it's like it all just takes on all these colors, and he's done an incredible job. And that's the genesis of it. That's how it came to be.
So cool.
It's
So is this the first time you've worked on an original musical that's gone from a one song 20 years ago to being a full blown show?
I've worked on a lot of workshops of new musicals, and I've done presentations like with music stands of new musicals. In college was the last time I worked. We started from beginning to end and sold tickets and had like an actual, but this is like kind of my first time originating a role. And I'm so glad, because I put it on my vision board for this year. I was like, I really want to start creating roles, because that's ultimately what you want to do as at least a lot of actors want to be able to start with something and see it through to the end. And so it's really an honor.
And after
it's really an honor.
So after Sarah
Love
did her callback, she texted me. She goes, even if I don't get cast, I have to say thank you for writing legit pieces of legit songs in our current contemporary
an up-tempo legit number.
Legit number.
There are no up-tempos for The Soprano other than like stuff from She Loves Me or State Fair.
Or Patience from Illyria, which was what we give all our sopranos because it's the only up-tempo contemporary classical piece, which no one has probably ever heard of.
Yeah, I was like,
I'll give it to you.
Oh yeah,
You'll love it.
I'll take it.
Anyway.
But listen,
talk amongst yourselves. They're having a lovely
Put it in your
time
book. Here we go.
over
Exactly.
We'll see you next week. I'm not sure when you get back.
Sorry about that.
well, what I was thinking is like for when kids audition for like colleges, musical theater colleges and stuff, they need to use Open Your Eyes. It's a perfect 1632 bar cut.
Thanks.
I'm going to take it into auditions.
And actually
for myself.
might count as golden age, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
So what's it like actually working on a show with the person who wrote the show?
It's a joy. He's great.
You're great.
You're really good about creative collaboration, which I really appreciate.
John
It's
is
good.
too.
John is great.
We're both like, what's going to make it better?
Yeah. I'll be like, I'll just ask a question, like a clarity question. And then John will whip out a new lyric. He's like, you're right. That doesn't make sense. Blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, oh, great. Awesome.
Someone else might say, hey, what if we tried that up a step? And I'm like, sure. And there's one song we moved up a step.
And that's rare, though, that I worked with a lot of people who the ego gets involved and then it's hard to. But I'm of the mindset always that the best idea wins, and that's why we make stuff together.
I don't get that. It's like we want the best show.
Absolutely.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a new project. It's not like you're trying to reimagine Into the Woods for the 18,000th time. It's like, so like, should we put it in the woods this time? No. Let's put it in downtown Manhattan and let's make let's take the baker out. He should be a taxidermist.
Once in a while. Oh my.
I would see that show. That's interesting.
Once in a while, you get a song that you're like, if a director or somebody wants to cut it, you're like, no, that's the one we won't cut because it's too close to our hearts. But in this show, we both love all the songs, but we would never, if someone was like, you know what, I think we could cut this song and it would probably be okay, we're open to it.
But then those go in the trunk songs, and that's for the cabaret.
Right, that's
There
true.
you
When we
go.
do the cabaret of like how that's always a fun. I
Yes.
love going to those cabarets when you see like what was cut from the show or
Right,
it's the
right.
12 different lyrics that they workshopped for things. It's always so
It's
fun.
actually, I will tell you a little funny story. So when John and I wrote "I Forget" for BMI, the first version we wrote was nothing like the one that's in the show right now. It was this Irish limerick, and it was dirty. and it was like to Laura Lay da 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 da. It was very Irish, right? And it was Uncle Billy sort of giving kind of we just assumed he was originally of Irish descent. I don't know what we were thinking, but we gave him this drinking song basically, which is why it ended up being these sort of dirty limericks. And I think we took it into BMI because when we brought it back after we rewrote it, and they were like, doesn't work. And then we wrote "I Forget," completely abandoning what we had done and went into a jazz waltz instead, and then completely changed the song. And that happens all the time. We completely rewrite.
I love that. So, have you or will you ever do like an original cast recording of this? Would you ever think? I know it's awful. I mean, it's got to be incredibly expensive.
Not yet. And the reason it's tricky, believe me, I want to take these people, every show we do, like with Shining and Misery and with this, I want to take everybody into the studio and make the most beautiful cast recording. The problem comes in with, sorry to say this, it comes in with equity. Because it's a whole new contract that we can't afford. So we do an archival, video of it, and that's what we get to help us, because we would certainly want other groups to do this show.
So who wants to fund the album?
Exactly. That's true. Hey, yeah.
Right?
Well, if anyone wants to fund the album,
Yep.
I'm through at capitalcitytheater.org.
Fundraising cabaret to fund the album.
And you could also, you could also like not use your equity name. You could be Sarah Barr Ellis.
I'm not gonna scab. I love my union.
No. We can't ask them to do that. But Jen Farley, we need to get Audrey Martinovich from Audio for the Arts into it and figure it out. But
Nominated.
Grammy nominated, absolutely. We love her.
Hey.
She's actually done sound. She did sound for Great Comet.
Ugh, and that was, I still, to this day, I talk about how amazing that barn turned into a theatrical
Yes.
piece. It was, honest to God, everything about it, but including the sound, because, it's a musical. And it's in a place that wasn't designed to be a musical. And you're environmentally,
So hard.
it was crazy. And it was, really, we just sat there in utter amazement thinking, number one, that the show was wonderful. And number two, the cast was wonderful. But that we heard every single thing and there was nothing that was out of sync with it.
That's so
You
cool.
could hear the instrument.
Thanks.
Somebody was playing right next to you, but it didn't overblow you of hearing somebody singing across the room for up in the rafters somewhere. It was
That was a neat show also too, because we sort of did the regional premiere of it, and we had people flying in
Yeah.
from all over the country because it never toured.
Did Dave Malloy show up? Did he come see?
No, but he came to our 54 Below concert in May, which was
sweet,
completely
that's sweet.
a separate deal. But no, but people were flying in from Canada and California and North Carolina because it never toured and no one had done it yet. So and people loved it on Broadway, and so they were like, "Who's doing it? Who's doing it?" And so that was why they came. But that was a neat show. But thank you. But yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to fund the album, and we'll talk about an
Yeah,
equity
yeah.
contract, we'll bring all these people up for a weekend, and we'll go into the studio. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun!
Do it.
The other issue too is the orchestra. So we would have to bring the whole orchestra in, pay them all, and put them in a different room. Put everybody.
It's possible. Anything's possible. We just need the money.
Anything's possible.
Give us your money.
Give us your money.
Open your wallets.
Everything's a song.
Hello, Pleasant. Listen, darling, we have to have coffee, okay? Yeah, Jerry can come too. He can fork in a few mil, but it's you we really got to talk to.
Yes.
Oh, you cracked me up. Crack me up.
Once this goes up like really soon, right? You're like going to Tech Week.
Tech Week.
soon?
No, we go into Tech Week next weekend.
Next week.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you are doing the cabaret series? Is that are there still ones to come, or did you finish the cabaret?
No, we have
series?
two. We just did the first one. We have two more coming.
You have two more coming up.
And then we have Murder for Two coming up at the end of February, and then Assassins next summer. So
Oh my God, Assassins! Oh, I love
it's a really fun season.
Good season.
Yeah, thank
Really?
you. I'm excited about it. Yeah, but this is the one we're focused on right now, and it's a beast. It's just a huge show. The set is absolutely incredible.
Can I explain the concept?
Yes,
It's really cool.
Please.
No, you.
Oh, you want me to explain the concept? Oh, okay. Well, I was actually over there painting windows today over at the McBee. I was like painting.
You're amazing.
Stop.
It was very sweet.
Gail and I were over there painting all morning. But it's a massive set. So the whole idea is that it's kind of layered. So you have all these buildings that are sort of I want to say miniatures, but they're not tiny. They're like slightly 6 feet
Just
tallish,
small.
but they're not as tall as real buildings would be, but they're just miniaturized buildings. And those buildings all turn and become the insides of other of the buildings.
Ah, okay.
And they move around and create various things. And inside of it are three portals. Bumping my mic. Three portals that create what looks like a snow globe.
Giant snow
It's
very
a giant snow
cool.
globe with a city inside it, as if there will be snow, and there's a star drop, and there's things that fly in, and there's a ground row in the back. I mean, it's just massive.
It's such a metaphor for Bedford Falls. Like, we have this really awesome opening number where we describe Bedford Falls and how quaint and safe and we don't change, we don't grow, everything. And like that's like and we're in this like snow globe, and then George feels like trapped in the globe kind of thing. It's like he can't leave. So it's really meta.
I never thought of
At
that.
least that's what I'm thinking
That's
about.
totally true. He's caught in the snow globe.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, getting snowed on.
Yes. Correct.
And I do have to tell you, I don't know if you're Stranger Things fans. I'm going somewhere.
I
with
love
this.
Stranger Things.
So do I. So in the reading, I'm going to claim this one. I started calling Pottersville, the part where he doesn't, it was never born. I started calling it the Upside Down. Because it's kind of the Upside Down.
Yep.
And the set actually has the whole city. It flies in, and it's a big giant Pottersville sign, and it's the whole city upside down.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
I will take some ownership of that. Not really. I like it for myself.
And you can keep the snow globe effect for when you do Citizen Kane the musical. That's obviously next.
Right.
I mean, that would make for a tiny little, like, lighthearted musical.
And why not?
I would not be surprised if there was a Citizen Kane.
I'm sure.
You know,
I'm sure
there's a Gone
somebody.
with the Wind musical. I mean, I might as well.
I'm
be.
sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure that somebody
It's out
somewhere,
there.
sometime, has had
Yeah.
that concept. Good, wonderful. Thank you so much. I know you have to like rush off to a rehearsal because I'm sure Ecstatic's going to make you like tromp and dance and tap and make yourself sweat beyond.
Well, we're
belief.
doing the ending Christmas number today when
See,
they go back.
even better, even better. It's a pleasure to meet you. I cannot wait to see you, Mary. Andy, as always, I enjoy all the time.
Love
I spend
you.
with
Love talking to you.
Go get your tickets now. Go and see the show. Go see Jen Farley play the ukulele because it'll change your life.
And capitalcitytheater.org is our website.
Yes.
You can get tickets. I'm sure it will be up somewhere.
We'll have it on Mad Stage. We'll have it on YouTube. We'll have it on your website, on Facebook, and all every place
Every
you
place
possibly
you can
go
imagine.
to find out about musical theater. Thank you so much again. Have a good weekend. We will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in.